Hi everybody, I'm Gus Gordon, the Artistic Director at the Hoogland Center for the Arts. Here's what's playing this weekend at the Hoogland. We have a new Ken Bradbury play, Couplings, presented by the Springfield Theater Center that'll be performing this weekend and next weekend. Joining me right now is Ken Bradbury, the author and director. Ken, thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Tell us about Couplings.
By the way, this is my director's hat.
Is it okay? Yeah. Is this your director's stool?
Yes. Sometimes with this cast, you need to wear a hat so they realize it. What was your question?
Tell us about Couplings.
Couplings. It's 8 plays at once. 8 couples doing the same thing. Would you like to know how I got the idea?
Yeah, I would love to know how you got the idea, Ken.
I was coming home from the Hoogland one night with a former student of mine, and somewhere between New Berlin and Alexander, which is where most great theater begins, you know.
I've heard that.
He said, I had an epiphany today. My parents told me they went to Woodstock. He said, I'm not able to look at them the same any longer. And it hit me how little one generation knows about the generation before it. How they did have the same feelings. And from that grew this play called Couplings, where we have kids all the way from middle school falling in love at age 12 to almost the end of life.
Okay. Now, you've done this one other time. You did this in Petersburg before.
Yeah, we did it in Petersburg last year, and it played very well. And the theater center in Springfield said, would you bring it here? And I said, why, sure, it's going to be a dessert theater.
So tell us about that.
Well, if you don't like the show, you eat the dessert.
Okay.
you hope that they're both pretty good. Yeah, it's a 2-act comedy. With the intermission in the middle, with the dessert, but it's a comedy of recognition.
Okay.
In other words, it isn't the jokes. I hope that you see yourself on stage. You're doing a show in the Hoogland too that has that comedy of recognition. We laugh at the characters because we see ourselves in them, and I think that there's a lot of that in this show.
Excellent. Now tell us about some of the cast members.
Every time I do this, I leave somebody out.
You got a bunch, though.
Okay, yeah, and they're from a wide area. The neat thing about Reader's Theater is that you can pick out people who don't really have time to do theater.
Okay.
It doesn't take quite as much time to put together. From the Springfield area, some of my theatrical heroes, Mary Beth Mahoney and Jim Hepworth. I once called them the ancient greats of Springfield and got in a lot of trouble. I should admit that.
Well, we can cut that part. We can get that later in post-production.
Okay. Jim and Brenda Yale from the Petersburg area. I have 4 of my students from the Jacksonville area. Don Schneider, a icon of the Springfield Theater, is in this show. He has an interesting scene. It's Couplings, but his wife isn't alive.
Okay.
He's speaking to her at the gravesite. Anyway, I kind of went through, as a director, what you need is a good Rolodex.
Okay.
I mean, to call the right
It's all
people.
about casting.
All about. I was playing in Williamsville one night, doing a piano thing, and I was thinking, how do I cast Couplings? This has been a year ago, and I sat down for cookies and cake, my trouble was I had to cast an elderly lady who could really do the work. Mm-hmm. And this lady across from me said, Ken, what are you doing? I said, a new show called Couplings. She said, I used to be in theater a lot, and I haven't been for years. I thought, yes, I've got the part. So that's sometimes how you put a show together.
Right, just by pure dumb luck.
Well,
smart luck.
Yeah, if you're talking to the press, you'd say that's genius, but no. Okay. Between you and I, and since I'm sure no one's listening.
Well, I hope they're listening. Please let us know if you're listening.
Yeah, hit on this.
Exactly. Now, this is Reader's Theater, so people will be reading from scripts.
Yep. I had a Springfield lady this week, a very veteran actress, say she would never do Reader's Theater because it's too hard. It's
really?
Interesting. Yeah. She said so much of the focus is up here. It has to be in the expression.
That's true.
She said, I want my props, I want my costume, I want my likes. I don't want to be out there on my own. So, and I never thought about it that way. Some actors are kind of afraid of Reader's Theater, but I love it because, again, it puts the emphasis on the words.
Exactly. And since you're the author, that's pretty important.
Well, you hope. And there are no excuses for not saying the right words because they're right there.
Because they're right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, let's take a look at a clip from Couplings.
Good.
That's when I started to worry about her all day. Walking around with that loaded gun.
I don't like rice pudding.
You don't have to eat it.
Are the kids up yet?
47 years. It seems like a long time, but it's not.
I remember the day I told my son that his parents had gone to Woodstock. His jaw hit the floor. I stood there cooking oatmeal, wearing a dress suit while reading the Wall Street Journal, and told him that his parents had once painted yellow daisies on their Volkswagen and tied dandelions in their hair. It was like the day he realized even Michael Jackson goes to the bathroom. That kid was shattered.
It was your idea.
Oh, you are so wrong, but who cares?
I just wanted to get it straight.
We were both so out of it that we didn't know who made the decision.
The Springfield Theater Center production of Couplings plays this weekend, Friday and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock, and it's a dessert theater. It's a special fundraiser, Sunday at 2 o'clock, and then the following weekend, Friday and Saturday at 8 and Sunday at 2. Also playing this weekend at the Hoogland Center for the Arts, The Fantastics continues its run, Friday and Saturday night at 8 and Sunday at 2. And then also we want to let you know about a new show coming our way. It's called Love, Loss, and What I Wore, written by Nora and Delia Ephron. That'll be performed as a dinner theater at the Hoogland, February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But you have to get your reservations in by January 29th. You can get your tickets for Couplings by coming down to the Hoogland Center for the Arts at 420 South 6th Street. Call us on the phone 523-2787 or go online at hcfta.org. And that's what's playing this weekend at the Hoogland.